Hi, back with more Frostheart today and ready to read chapter 8, which is called Friend and Foe. Songweaver! Someone roared in anger as Ash was brought down from the wall and back into the village. The villagers encircled him, buzzing with tension and anxious murmurs, all in the shadows of the sleigh that was busy docking at the gate close by. Ash tried to squirm free, but was thrown to the cold ground for his efforts. "Be still, Songweaver!" grunted the hunter who had held him. Ash's head spun. This wasn't what he'd imagined at all. He thought his success would have changed their minds. He'd helped the Pathfinder sleigh get to safety. Surely they could see his song had been used for good. "I don't believe it. The Songweavers are a dying people. There are barely any of them left. How can there be one here?" Alderman Kindle rumbled quietly as he approached Ash. "At last, Alderman Kindle," Ash thought. "He's always fair. He'll sort this out." "We all saw it, true as flame," said the hunter, lifting Ash up and pinning his arms behind his back with rough hands. The hunter's rugged face was scarred from past scrapes with leviathans. "We've all suspected for years that the boy was one of them. Now we have proof. He sang their song, spoke with the hurtlers. 'Twas clear as day." The crowd were in uproar, and the alderman furrowed his brow. "Fire spirits protect us, so the rumours are true. I was trying to help," Ash called out, desperate for support. He looked from his old guardian Char to Shine's parents, but no one would meet his eye. Even his friends couldn't bring themselves to look at him, though they stood a short distance away. "Rice, please, you have to tell them. Tell them I'm not like that." He struggled to break free from the hunter's grip, managing to reach out for his friend, but Rice tore away from his grasp, his eyes wide with fear and disgust. "It makes sense. We long suspected his father was one of them too," a Lightbringer said as the hunter pulled Ash back into a hold. "The filth runs in the blood. The tales do not lie." Ash's ears pricked at the mention of his father, despite the awful insults. "My father, so they suspected him of being a songweaver. Is my mother one too?" Somehow the idea that they might have been made Ash feel better. A little less alone in the world, but only a little. He could feel the ocarina hidden within his furs and clung to the small amount of comfort it offered. How he wished his parents were there right then. "We'll be waiting to hold you tight." "Mum, Dad, where are you?" "We need to act, and fast. Yes, indeed," declared Lightbringer Hayes. "The young-uns won't remember the last time a Songweaver schemed with the Leviathans. She helped them break into the Boar stronghold, our neighbour. The entire stronghold was torn to pieces. The Leviathans will use their song to control any human kin susceptible to their voice. Yes, indeed. We must cast him out. Cast him out, I say." A chill stabbed through Ash's body. To hear Hayes, his teacher, say these horrible words, he felt that the whole scene was happening to someone else, and that something had grabbed his heart in a painful tight grip and wouldn't let go. I'm not like that. I would never do something like that. I promise," he squeaked. "I didn't mean to." "Quiet, boy," commanded one of the hunters. "We've heard enough from you already." Ash's face flushed. He was trembling. They spoke as if he were one of the Leviathans. "Why don't you leave us and live with your monster friends, monster boy?" Thor sneered from the crowd to a rousing cheer. "Yeah, go live in the wilds like the rest of your kind," said another. "You have no place here." "Freak!" someone shouted. "Monster!" spat a man. The angry, frightened crowd grabbed, pushed and jostled towards Ash like a snowstorm. He cringed in terror, and then a flash of white sped through the teeming villages, separating Ash from their reaching hands. The crowd parted as fast as it had formed. "Tobu?" Ash stammered. The Yeti was low and taut, his spear held ready behind his back. His muscles were straining, prepared to strike. As the crowd made room for him, he rose slowly to his full imposing height and then hauled Ash towards him. "You shame yourselves," he growled. "He is just a child." The crowd shifted uncomfortably. Ash may have been a songweaver, but as their anger cooled, they realised that Toby was right. "I only tried to help," Ash said. He couldn't help it. He began to cry. "I don't want to be used by the Leviathans. I don't want to be like this. I promise. You have to believe me." "Enough," demanded Alderman Kindle. "I'm sorry, but the boy cannot stay here, Tobu. I will not put my people in danger, but he is not without hope. I've heard rumours of a place where his kind gather. The boy's father himself mentioned it once, a stronghold of song weavers, so the legends say. The crowd rippled with fear at the idea of such a place, many touching the sunstone pendants that hung from their necks for protection. He would be welcome there, unlike the other strongholds. It is where I would go, were I in his boots. The alderman gave Ash a firm look, through one that wasn't entirely unsympathetic. Ash's ragged breaths caught in his throat at the mention of this place. Could a place like this exist? Tobu broadened his huge shoulders and growled dangerously. If you will act so low as to abandon him, then so be it, but I will not let you send him to his death alone. Protests and grumbles came from the crowd, but Alderman Kindle silenced them with a raised hand. As you wish, Tobu, you shall follow him into exile. It would seem this place is not as honourable as I had thought, Tobu said, and Ash saw the hunters in the group bristle in response. Once an outcast, always an outcast, one spat. If at all possible, things were becoming even more tense when "Floundering fish farts!" came a loud voice. The Fearer crowd turned as one to see a gangplank pop over the top of the Pathfinder sleigh and bang down to the ground. End of chapter 8.